by you. I'll be your everything, your blue sky. I go to war, fight. Damn right. Even when I've left, I do right.
Welcome back to the Professional Stepdad Show. This is episode 123. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Today is going to be a Q&A question. It's going to be going out to a fellow stepdad. His name is Scott. Now, Scott sent in this question. I think it was very, very, very relevant to the point where I wanted to make episode 123 around his question, because I believe that there are plenty of stepdads out there that go through this scenario, that are dealing with this scenario as we speak, and they're not exactly sure how to navigate their way through these waters because, it's kind of tricky. So we'll kind of just jump right into it. So Scott, this is, I'm going to go ahead and read your question. I'm not going to read the full email, but I'm going to read the question as it pertains to today's episode, which is Disneyland Dad. That's the bio dad the Disneyland dad is the bio dad that only shows up when he wants to, buys all the kids anything they want, lets them get away with murder, and pretty much his entire job, for the most part, is to make you look as, not as stupid, but as useless as possible in your role as stepdad and leader in your home. So Scott, I really hope today's episode, you can extract from it what you need. Make sure to always share your story with fellow stepdads who are going through this exact scenario that you're going through. So my question is this: I have problems dealing with or accepting their biological dad and his role. He is a broke Disneyland dad that comes around every so often and takes them out to eat and buys them things and then drops them off. He hasn't gotten his life together and rents a bedroom in an Airbnb as his home. Mind you, he's also a truck driver, so he's on the road a lot. Get that. So one of Scott's problems is other than the fact that bio dad is a Disneyland dad and shows up whenever he wants to, is that, Scott and his partner, when they want to go on vacations or when they want to spend some time together, there are not a lot of family members in their scenario that can help watch the kids. So, and Scott is just engaged to his partner. So congratulations, Scott. But Scott has two, he's got 3 boys, 15, 14, and 10. And so what the scenario and situation they have to put themselves in is that bio dad, because he rents a room in an Airbnb and there's 3 boys, his bio dad has to stay at their house and take care of the boys while they're off on their vacations. So Scott is really dealing with, some personal issues and, trust issues when it comes to the fact that, bio dad is in his house watching the kids while he's off with his fiance, doing, like on a vacation, because every couple needs a break. Bio dad has to stay at their house in order to watch the kids because he has no spot. He has no place to call his own because he hasn't gotten his life together and he's kind of living, week to week, day to day, month to month. So Scott's issue is trust, right? Scott's issue is not only trust with bio dad, but it's trust with his fiance, his partner. I mean, as a stepdad, we come into our blended family and our objective is to not only try our very best, to do our very best, because remember, there are no manuals that exist for stepdads in any blended family situation, but we're doing our best and we're trying to gain and earn the respect, love, admiration, and amazing new ways to communicate with our stepchildren, because that's our goal, is to step in and just do anything we can to not only help parent but help raise children into young, productive adults, so they're ready to kind of take on the world when they get out. So Scott's issue with bio dad needing to stay at their house because he has nowhere to go, that's still a lot with trust. Scott's issue with bio dad being a Disneyland dad that kind of shows up whenever he wants to, takes the kids, buys them everything, and then drops them off and see you later type stuff. His issue is I'm assuming, Scott, you're really wishing that their dad would have more involvement. So here's what I'm saying, Scott. On one hand, you're saying he's a Disneyland dad and he shows up when he wants to, buys some stuff, drops them off. And mind you, he does work a job where he's on the road all the time. And then the other issue is that, he needs to stay at your house because he doesn't have his life together, and you have a lot of trust issues with him because he's staying in your house under your roof, right? So first ask yourself this question, Scott. Why do you have a problem with him being a Disneyland dad? I mean, if his job requires him to be on the road all the time, and if his job requires him to be away from home more than at home or in the same state, are you upset with the whole Disneyland dad scenario because he doesn't have to go through and deal with all of the downs and the heartaches and pains and obstacles that the kids are going to be going through because he's out on the road? So then when he comes in, he swoops in, he buys them everything, he drops them off, and they're left on a high note, but then he's gone again. Are you wanting him to be around more? Are you wanting him to be more involved, Dad? Mind you, he doesn't have his stuff together, and he rents a room, but maybe, Scott, when you take a look at it from his point of view, maybe that's all he can do. Now, mind you, I don't know this man. I don't know Bio Dad. Scott, I don't know how he handles his day-to-day situation. I don't know if he's horrible with money. I don't know if he's a good father or not. I don't know if the separation was mutual, or if like he cheated or she cheated. I don't know the full story. I do know this though. As a stepdad, our job is not to try and alter the way bio parent handles their children. It's not our job to try to like force them into doing the things that we would do or we think they should do, because at the end of the day, they're still bio parent, right? They have certain rights to them that we won't have as stepdads when it comes to parenting. What do I mean by this? I mean that if this is how he's parenting and this is the way he knows how to parent, maybe this is the way he was parented. Maybe this is all he knows. This is maybe his entire objective is wanting to be better and wanting to be home more and not wanting to rent an Airbnb, but he can't because he's on the road all the time. Now, again, remember, Scott, I don't know anything about this man, but I do know this. When it comes down to it, when it comes down to this question, which is, I'm having problems with Dylan accepting their biological dad and his role, and the fact that he's staying in your house while you're on vacation. Let's take a look at the rooted problem, Scott. And the rooted problem, my friend, is, of course, you. What do I mean by this? It means that you're dealing with some issues on your own that are really centered and focused around another man in your house. Now, mind you, he's watching his kids, but he's in your house. I get that. There's a lot of trust that has to go into that, There's a lot of trust that has to go into you and your fiance agreeing for that to happen. And then there's, Bio Dad altogether being the Disney dad, buying them everything and getting them whatever they want. And then, poof, in a cloud of smoke, he's gone again. But let's take a look at the fact that none of that has anything to do with you, Scott. That has nothing to do with the type of father you want to be. It has nothing to do with the type of leader you want to be. It has nothing to do with the type of partner you want to be. And it has everything to do with you having, you accepting Bio Dad's role in your blended family journey. Certain bio dads will be attentive. They'll be there. They'll be on the same page as you. You'll get along. There'll be certain bio dads that hate you, will talk shit about you behind your back. They'll do everything they can to sabotage you. Those are those kind of blended families. Then there are the bio parents that kind of pop in and out when they can, whether they're in and out of jail, they're dealing with drug problems, or maybe their job takes them on the road. None of that matters, Scott. The only thing that will ever matter is, are you doing everything within your power in order to learn to communicate with the three boys? Are you doing everything in your power to work on your personal shit, work on who you were before you stepped into that relationship? How were you raised? What problems are you dealing with the way you were raised, meaning from your dad or your mom or whomever raised you? Why do you have such a hang up about him being a Disneyland dad? How does it affect you? How is that affecting the way you're parenting? Because at the end of the day, kids need structure. This I know that for a fact. Kids need structure. And kids need a rock to stand on. And if that is you, Scott, or if that is what you're wanting to be, then you need to do more about working on how to tighten up the things in your life for you personally, Scott, because the kids are going to need stability. The kids are going to need somebody that they can depend on. The kids are going to need somebody that they can come to in their darkest hours. And Scott, this is going to come with doing the self-work you have to do your own self-work. You have to really focus on how you can become a better you, how you can learn to let things go, how you can learn to let things, not bother you. At the end of the day, I think it would bother any man that another man is staying in their house and you have no idea what they're doing. But then if you look at the flip side of that coin, it's like, if you're secure in your relationship, brother, if you're secure in the way you're handling your parenting and the way you're handling the growth that you need and the study that you need in order to become the very best man and leader within your home, then I don't think any of that matters. I really don't. You cannot control and change and alter anybody else's daily habits, routines, the way they are and how they act. You just can't. They have to be willing to do it. And I think you're focusing too much on what Bio Dad is not doing, meaning not the opposite of Disneyland Dad. He doesn't instill structure and organization and all that. He's kind of just like, do anything you want and here's anything you need. I think that bothers you because you like structure. And then with the whole trust and him being in your home watching the kids while you're on vacation, look, man, at the end of the day, if this is the way it has to be because you don't have any other family members to help you, brother, then really you need to ask yourself, is it the fact that you don't trust him in your home, or is there a deeper seated issue here? Why is that bothering you so much? If he's doing you guys a solid, so what if he doesn't have his own home? So what if he can't maintain a place to stay because his job requires him to do other things? None of that matters. That's his life. That's how he has to live his life. That's his journey. He has to go through that. It has nothing to do with you. I know I'm kind of being a little bit of, being in your face hard about it, Scott, but here's the thing, man. You got 3 boys. You proposed to your fiance last month. You're well into your journey. You're doing awesome. You're doing amazing. Here's how I know you're doing amazing. Because you messaged me. It means you're seeking out ways to be better. That puts you in a position of power for yourself, brother. And this is the reason why you got to just focus on you. Focus on how you can become a better you. Focus on how you can learn to communicate with the kids. Show the kids without saying that you're going to be there. You're going to provide structure. You're going to be the rock for them to stand on. You are dependable. Show up. Be there. Be dependable. Lay that foundation because kids are smart. Kids are really, really smart. And of course they love their dad. Why wouldn't they? Especially when he's Disney dad and he comes in and buys them everything that they want because you're making them earn it and he wants to give it. That's a problem that I used to have, with the whole kids are getting just getting shit because their grandparents buy it for them and I want them to earn it so they can understand the value of what it means to earn something. And that is something that I've had to deal with on my own because I can't stop grandma and grandpa from buying the kids stuff. Just can't. It's their job. That's what they're going to do. They're going to spoil them no matter how much I try to stop them. Same with you. Bio Dad's going to spoil his kids. Maybe he feels bad for not being there, whatever. But again, none of that has anything to do with you. That's way before your time within your blended family. Your job is to better yourself, to make sure that you and your teammate, your fiance are killing it. You guys are on the same page. You guys are parenting 50-50. You guys are going through your journey together and not separate. And more important, that you're taking the time to get to know your 3 boys, to understand who they are as young men and what are they into, what do they like, what do they don't like, because kids will tell you what they need and kids will tell you, when they need you. But if you're not listening or you're not aware, it's going to fly right over your head. So stop worrying about what Bio Dad's doing. None of that has anything to do with you. Stop worrying about how he's parenting. None of that has anything to do with you. Your job is to lay a foundation and then to lead by example so the boys can look at you and say, okay, yeah, I get that. That's structure. That's how things are done. That's how things are organized. I love to earn something rather than get it. Money earned is much better than anything in the world. When you earn it and then you can get what you want from earning it, it's amazing. It's amazing when you earn something and you can save it and you have something to show for it. Show the kids, show the boys that's what this is about. Learn to trust more, man. Learn to trust that he's not doing some evil plot scenario that you have going on in your head that you're probably making up as you go because you're letting your thoughts run away with you, because we all do it, right? Maybe this is the way it has to be until it changes. And nothing can change until bio dad is even wanting. You don't even know if he wants to change or he cares about changing. Maybe he doesn't even understand what he's doing. But again, none of that has anything to do with you. Remember, when you have that friction, when you don't trust what's going on at your home and you're out and you're on vacation, let's say Hawaii with your fiance, Scott, and your mind is back home and your mind is racing, how are you present with your fiance? How are you staying in the moment? You're not. And she knows it. And that's where you're messing up on that end. You're allowing something that you can't control to consume your thoughts and control your day-to-day and where you currently are, which would be on vacation with your fiance. You need to be present. You need to be there. Period. That's just the way things are, man. And understanding that trust is earned, for sure. I get it. Maybe BioDad hasn't done anything to earn your trust. But if you and your fiance are on the same page with BioDad watching the kids at your house while you're on vacation, there's one of two things you can do. Learn to trust, learn to understand that everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna control your environment, or you're gonna stop taking vacations. That's really the only way to do it, right? So really take a step back, Scott. I want you to look at who you are as a man, as a person, as a partner, as a father, as a leader. I want you to take a look at yourself and ask yourself, am I doing the self-work? Am I doing everything needed to better myself so I can grow my awareness within my family, so I can become a better man? Are you doing all that? Are you doing the reading? Are you journaling? If you haven't done any of that, it's because if you haven't started yet, you don't know. And you could go back in old episodes for sure. And you can learn about how important it is to focus on you first. But remember, stability, man, stability. Kids need stability. Be the stable one. Be the rock. Be the one that sets the standard. You cannot change anyone. You cannot alter. You can fight against it all you want, but it's just going to cause problems. What you can do is you can control your environment, your four walls. And if you can control that, Scott, then none of this Disneyland Dad trust, none of it will matter anymore, because you are in control of your blended family, your blended journey, and you are doing all the right things so that later on down the road with patience, everything will pay off. All right, guys, until next time, talk to you soon. Hey, thanks for listening to the show. Listen, if you know a stepdad who is in need of any of this information, do me a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button and share this episode with them as fast as possible. Did you do it? Okay, you did it.
Quiet on the set, please. Thank you, everybody.